Hello everyone, we're back with the Scouting Grounds. It's Hype Shoutcasting here with Boba Joe and my boy Boba Jack. Welcome everyone. Jack, how are you?
Hello. Back again for another Scouting Grounds. Today did the Scouting Grounds last week with Pascali. Today it is full hype shoutcasting on the desk here. And I am ready to cast the very first game of the day. The lobby is starting to fill up. I think we're waiting on one more player. And then we can get into this first game. First two teams, tell us a little bit, Jan.
The first two teams are with, of course, the coaches Vounghuard. And correct me if I pronounce this incorrectly, because I think it's dywan1na? dywan1na?
dywan1na?
dywan1na? Let's just say it's dywan1na. So those two coaches have geared up their squad and gonna go head on in game one. And there are a few things we might expect here, because of course you have some heavy DPS junglers on both sides, and Tommy, who is gonna go in for the Sejuani. I think maybe if they watch the games from last week, that they're gonna throw a little curveball Sejuani Ben out there in the draft. What do you think?
Yeah, of course we have Tommy expecting to pick up Sejuani or forcing the Sejuani ban here from the opponents. We saw him play both Sejuani and Kayn last week's Scouting Grounds and played both of them really well. So he's not just a Sejuani OTP, he actually knows what he's doing. which of course is to be expected, but he's done very well last week. And I'm just expecting him to do the same this week. We have some interesting top laners as well, in my opinion. There's not a lot of very tank-heavy players in both teams here in top lane. Of course, we saw Nerea last week with siding with Domi that time. Now he's against Domi. And we saw him play a lot of carry top laners. Of course, a lot of Aatrox Sejuani, which was an unbeaten combination last week. So, maybe we'll see that again this week.
Definitely the man who will try to run away with the MVP Scouting Grounds. So he's the guy to watch. And we've been looking at the champion pool of the mid laners as well, and we kind of feel a little bit of a victor coming in, because Lenan and Gale both played a champion, and he has had pretty much buffs in the preseason now, with of course his Hextech core item being removed and his synergy with all the new items. So if victory is gonna be seen, we're gonna have a lot of burst on that mid laner and potentially some cool plays and some big wah! He got blown up, but we'll have to see how that head goes.
Absolutely. Also, something I want to touch on before we enter this first game of our Scouting Grounds is both support players here. We have Milix and THRLL Bowman, both of which who play some caster supports, so not as much the Leona, Nautilus, Thresh, although the Thresh is one of Bowman's favorites, so we might see it there. But I believe last week's Scouting Grounds we saw heavy engage supports, a lot of Leona, quite some Alistars, things like that. And we saw one Janna game, which was just a terrible 0-10 Janna. So
just a complete disaster.
completely awful. Was not expecting her to be picked up. Did not understand the pick either. Asked a couple people afterwards if this pick actually did something, and everybody I talked to about it said it wasn't really the greatest pick in the world. And well, we saw it in the game as well. But these two support players are pretty big fans of those caster supports, so who knows, we might see a little pickup here.
Yeah, and Bowman, he does a little bit more than only the casters. He does have the Alistar, the Thresh, the Blitz, where he can go for. But he's gonna watch out, because the bot lane from Vounghuard might go for a bully lane here with the Misfortune. That is pretty much a favorite for Rusty Sniper. So we'll have to see where they go. But I expect them to put a lot of pressure on that lane. And of course, these Scouting Grounds, all the players will grow here, and will grow as well as casters, because normally we're casting in Dutch. This time it's in English. So hopefully at the end of the Scouting Grounds we've become a little bit better ourselves. So yeah, that will be a nice curve to watch. As I'm seeing here, I think the teams are ready, so any moment we can just fly into that first pick and ban.
Yes, we're waiting just one, I think, last minute here for the... Yeah, someone was getting water in
Stay hydrated.
Team, in Domi's team. We'll be ready in a minute. So, gonna go into that draft phase very soon.
Make sure you got your cup.
Absolutely. Do we, Boba Joe, expect, for example, a Graves pick on Team Vounghuard? We have Pfizer plays Graves, probably second or third favorite pick recently, but also Gayul, or maybe better known as Coin, plays a lot of Graves mid, so they could pick up a Graves as a flex to mid and jungle. Are we expecting it, or do we think they're gonna steer away from it?
Well, it's a very good idea when you have the flexibility to draft it early on, and we're in the draft, so we're gonna see it right away. If they pick the Graves early on the blue side, then you can say for sure it's gonna be jungle, because they have that juicy champion pool from Gayul there, and you see immediately Sejuani taken away from Domi, so that is that little curve bend that we were expecting there.
And then we also continue with wasn't necessarily expecting Lulu to be banned, but we did touch on the fact that both supports like those casters. So not very unusual to see the Lulu ban in these first rotations. Thresh, of course, something we touched on that as well. Bowman plays that quite a lot. They do not want to give him that for free.
His highest
and
mastery as well, so why wouldn't you take it away from him, his comfort pick?
Exactly.
There it goes. We won't see a flex Graves pick, they're just too afraid that that gives them a little bit too much options in the draft phase, so it's a smart move from dywan1na to take that away from them. And the last ban could also be focused to Domi. No, they're gonna take away the Gale. Not sure how strong she is at the moment. She received a little bit of a nerf in the last patch, but seems there's still a little bit of fear for that heavy scaling pick in the top lane.
Yeah, and Lionel, of course, likes to play that Gale. Also played him previous season quite a lot, if I'm not mistaken. So he does enjoy that, assuming they will go for the Jhin Samira swap, I guess. However, Pancho Man not really a lot of Samira in his arsenal, so is more of an Ezreal player himself. Maybe Vayne could be picked up here in this rotation. Not expecting that to be picked up in the beginning though, because that would give away quite a lot of ideas, and it is eventually going to be a very engage heavy, all in your face bottom lane with the misfortune for Pancho Man here in the first rotation picks.
Yeah, they have that first tools of the press R comp in the making with the Leona Misfortune in the bot lane. I'm expecting something to help Jhin take over the lane early on with some range, because that is where Alexis champion pool is going for. However, he throws the curveball, the Tahm Kench is coming through, so some protection for Jhin, kinda necessary when you see the damage that they can do, might save his life a lot there. But we're gonna see how he plays it, because definitely not something we expected from Melex to come out here in the draft.
Assuming they're gonna go for a jungle pick here, maybe. It's not gonna be Evelynn. They did hover it though. Pfizer is quite a decent Evelynn player, but they do opt against it, going for an Amumu, something we did not see a lot of last Scouting Ground. We saw him once, we expected him to be played way more than he actually did get played. I think we only saw him once, and he went, I don't know, close to 0-10 as well. That game had a very poor performance, a very unlucky performance maybe. And there Domi comes out with a Kayn pick, probably second favorite jungler at this point. Played it last week against the Sejuani, now again versus a tank jungler. Probably gonna pick up red Kayn this game as well. So there's a champion that he really enjoys and is very comfortable on.
Yeah, the Mumu coming through on the blue side. If it's not a placeholder, can't really check which ones they use now. And a Mumu very much possible to be picked here, because he's so strong at the moment. Did receive a lot of nerfs after the pre-season patch, because of course, yeah, that was a ridiculous win rate that he was receiving at that point. So wouldn't be surprised to see a pickup here for Pfizer, for the Amumu. Doesn't give the same blow-up comp as they see on the red side at the moment, because of course Tahm Kench is more of a protective support and not really the engage tool that is Leona, so we'll have to see how it goes. But too bad we won't see that that Victor on the mid lane. Well, Orianna still open for Lionel.
Yeah, we did talk about the Victor being a priority pick.
There it goes,
His
Orianna.
patch, and there goes Orianna and Syndra, both been taken out. So there's a lot of focus on the mid lane here. Assuming they're gonna be picking that up rather soon here. Galio, of course, another pick Lionel does like to pick up. We have the Victor, we have Kayle, we have Orianna. They've all been banned, and his basically the fourth option for him is to go for a Galio, which, you know, it's not a terrible pick here. They are playing against an Amumu, which is an AoE magic damage dealer. Galio gives that shield. So they're gonna have to go for an AP mid laner to not go full AD here. And then Galio is a decent pick to counter that.
And Arya is gonna go for that Camille maybe, so he can carry this game from the top lane. I think they're gonna have to discuss it a little bit more, picking up the Kassadin for Rusty. The scaling game is what they're gonna play now with this because it needs to hit that level 16 to be impactful, because of course the Galio has a little bit more value once they hit 6 to be able to bash in on the other lanes. And the Kamiya wouldn't be too surprised if we see that going over to an area here.
Yeah, previous Scouting Grounds, we saw a lot of targeted bans towards Nerea as well. I think Fiora got banned basically every game against him. Does not happen this game. So the Fiora was open as well, but Camille might just be a tad stronger to pick up here for a 4-1 comp or even a 3-1-3 later on in the game with Kassadin in the side lane, Camille in the side lanes, and they can actually try to pull the team on red side apart. They of course do have the Shen to counter the 4-1 a little bit, but it looks like they've mostly want to go engage with the Leona, the Galio, and the Misfortune.
Yeah, and it's a little bit of a risky comp what they've picked now, because you have on either side you have the Kami, the Kassadin that can split, as you say, but you also have the Shen and the Galio that basically have the global ultimates, which allows them to follow them to counter that play. So depending on how strong they will be in their individual matchups, will give them value later on to push through or get engaged on and just lose the fight. So at the moment, I think the easier comp to play out is definitely for red side, for dywan1na. But blue side is scary. Once one of those hyper carries starts rolling, it's gonna be really difficult to stop them in their tracks.
We have two interesting drafts, two completely different types of team comps. We have globals on one side, we have heavy split pushing with Camille on the other side. So both teams are gonna want to go for a different type of game plan most likely. What would we like to see, or what will we most likely see from both teams for them to actually be able to win the game?
Well, what I'm gonna see here is of course the jungler, Kayn, will be able to gank more efficiently, since basically no one has an escape. Only Camille has the hookshot, which allows her to escape, but he's gonna have a really easy time ganking those lane early on, because they have tons of CC on the Leona, on the Galio, even on the Shen, so he can really make the difference at this point. Tommy can get kills left, right and center, and Amumu of course used to be not being able to follow that fast with the ganks. But now with the changes, who knows? Has he been toned down enough, or can he still destroy them once he has his mythic item picked up? The Aegis Fire Cape. Is that correct even what I'm saying? All those new item names, who knows them by now?
Sunfire Aegis, I think.
Sunfire Aegis. Sunfire Aegis Fire Cape of Doom.
I'm still thinking about the Tahm Kench pick a bit. I'm not 100% sure. He's just there to, I guess, help Jhin survive the lane when Leona engages onto him. Aside from that, I don't really see what the Tahm Kench can bring to that team at this point. Because Kassadin jumps out, Amumu is tanky enough, Camille's going to be in the side lanes and is very mobile, and then there's a Jhin with, I guess, Tahm Kench should just eat you and run away.
And also a little bit Malek's skill cap on the champion, because as we looked into his champion pool, we never saw the Tahm Kench pop up like, okay, this is something that he might pick. It wasn't an idea, so maybe it was purely for the draft here, chosen by Vounghuard, like, hey, can you play Tahm Kench? Yeah, I played him, can pick him up for this. But yeah, there is a difference between someone who has mastered the Tahm Kench and someone who plays him casually, so I'm really wondering if he's gonna show, has he mastered this champ or not, with maybe the few games that he's played. So we'll have to see how it goes. Definitely a guy to watch here in this game. Tahm Kench, will he be able to carry Rusty Sniper out of those horrible engages that of course Leona can bring to the table?
Yes, and we are in a loading screen here, gonna pop up on the stream any second. Looking at the runes slash masteries, whatever you want to call it these days, we are, in my opinion, not a lot of special runes. The only thing that, in my opinion, jumps out a little bit here is we have a Galio with Predator, something that I have not seen a lot of myself personally. So I'm interested to see what he's going to be able to do or want to do with the Predator on Galio.
Yeah, but this is a really peculiar choice, because you don't really have to run far to ult with Galio. You can just move a step away, press R, and then you're there. Do you really need that movement speed to run? He's gonna show us in this game why he picks it, I hope, because maybe it was a misclick, and that would of course be a little bit sad in a game like this. And of course, Narea really boasting with that summoner icon there for a challenger, I believe, which is
Grandmaster.
Of Grandmaster, really looking smooth.
We are close to jumping on to the first game, the first Summoner's Rift of our Scouting Grounds this week. Both teams are gonna be spawning momentarily into the Rift. Bear in mind, to everyone watching, me and Bobo Joe are both in the spectator mode, so we might desync a bit along the way. This is due to technical issues that we are having to stream it this way, so bear with us while we try to fix everything as we go.
Yeah, sometimes we'll just have to see if we're still in sync. So I'm running at 34, 35, 36. Are you with me?
We are completely in sync at this point.
This is so nice. I hope that the teams will be as in sync as we, and then this will be an interesting match. First little sneaky tap, little love tap, as it is called, on the face of Rusty Sniper, so he was just there to say, let's be friends, and it has been rejected already, breaking the boy's heart.
Oh, breaking the heart with a love tap. What an ironic start of the game. Red side, clearly the more aggressive team here early game, looking to find maybe someone out of position, maybe someone who's tabbed out of the game for some reason, to see if they can find an early pick here. Not going to be the case. Blue side setting up the Great Wall of China, more or less, and that way trying to go past the early game, where we do see, however, a slight invade here from red side. They do have at least one sweeper on, going to be able to clear the ward, and blue side decides to not contest the red buff for Mumu, giving that away to Domi, giving him an early slight lead, but you know, maybe a Mumu can counter that somehow.
Definitely an earlier level 1 comp for the red side. You do not want to mess with that Leona early on. With the Tahm Kench, the Jhin, both rely on their full skill set to really shine in the duels is not a good idea, so playing it safe, giving it up, and looks like Domi is going for that triple buff early on, because he runs straight to his red, does not want to risk Mumu going for that. So yeah, as you said, Domi probably gonna shine the early game with a lot of ganks, and this will definitely help him on his way.
We have a Kassadin, we have a Camille, both on blue side. They're gonna want to most likely scale a little bit, especially the Kassadin. Of course, gonna want to scale into level 16. Kayn is a pretty gank heavy jungler. We've seen Domi do it last week. So they're gonna want to focus a lane that's probably good enough to get the Kassadin or the Camille out. He's looking immediately at top lane, not gonna find it though.
As I said, they have so much CC, gonna give Domi enough opportunities to gank. And you see, Narea knows how this matchup is gonna play out. He puts so much pressure on the Shen. And isn't really scared, because yeah, of course, when a Kayn just passes by, you know that he is still around. Is he gonna go for the gank again? Because he was wasting a little bit of time there, so you might know that he's not gonna do it again. However, there he is again, round 2.
He is back in the top lane. We saw him do this last weekend as well on Kayn. A lot of pressure on 1 or 2 lanes, trying to help those laners out. And in the bottom lane, we do have an engage here. Leona does go in hard on Rusty. Sniper is not going to get binded, very close, but we see a flash from Tom Kench, followed up by a Leona flash to get out of there. It was pretty close for both sides, but nothing gets picked up.
If that last stack of acquired days would have hit, it would have been the nom and might have been the kill on the bot lane for first blood. And now Fighter is looking for a gank, but they have been spotted. Not gonna fall for that, so it stays 0-0. However, Tommy going for the gank on mid.
A lot of pressure. Great taunt by the Galio, finding first blood eventually. 4K going very hard, but great gank again by Tommy. And now Fighter on this Amumu is gonna have to run really hard. 4 people chasing him to get the chickens away from him, and he's gonna stay to aggro the chickens, but Dummy goes very aggressive, finding maybe the stun, maybe the kill. The flash gets burned, and on a mobile champion, like Amumu, that could mean less pressure.
Yeah, Bowman just staying there in the brush ready for the stun, and yeah, zoning him out of his own jungle, really painful, but it is expected, and it was a good first blood on the mid lane, really going from top to bottom. And as you can see, he is looking for the gank there. However, first Drake will be the priority because bot lane has been recalled. Amumu is topside. This is just a free pickup for team of dywan1na.
Teleport coming in from Galio to secure the wave for himself. It's a very, aside from a couple ganks we saw here by Domi's Kayn, it's a pretty slow early game. No crazy fights, no crazy 1v1s, 2v2s. We saw the bottom lane try to pick up the pace early on. And of course, with this more early game sided team, the first Drake goes to a red side.
Shen already being doubled in CS by an area, and a gank coming in at the touch field. Negates almost all the damage there, so well played by Righteous to prevent that death, because that would have been a disaster for him at this point with the lead that his Naraya is taking.
Yeah, Naraya really taking over this top lane at this point. 23 farm ahead of the Shen already, and now there's a roam from Misfortune to the mid lane looking for the kill on Kassadin. Gonna use his flash
Predator
to get out of there, and that's where the Predator is. He's gonna come in. He's one more kill. The auto attack. It is the Q. Keller now has to jump out. It actually finds the ult to jump out of this. Leona's there to save his buddy's butt, and the Galio somehow survives this crazy pace.
He has to rename his ultimate from Hero's Entrance to Hero's Dewey. I'm out.
Hero's Retreat.
He just flies away there with 1 HP in the jungle. Damn, well played by Nail.
And we have another aggressive play. Case coming in with Roam this time. Milix does eat up his top laner, but is going to be enough? Not at all. Righteous picks up the kill onto Tom Kench. Now Amumu is going to drop as well. Domi picking that one up. And at this point, 0-4 already for red side. Clearly, you know, using their early advantage pretty well here.
Yeah, aggression on the bot side is not really possible with the game being in the jungle constantly. Keeps going here, but it might be a little bit too much for him to handle at this point. Bowman was on his way, but yeah, it's too little too late. Of course, Kayn not transformed yet. Probably going to choose for that red Kayn. We usually see that it's the more popular choice. And once he's there, we'll probably see some very disgusting things from this game that is going for Gordringer.
As we've said repeatedly, Kayn is putting on the pressure. Kayn is going for a lot of ganks, and not only is he getting off more ganks, he's also out farming the Amumu. So at this point the question is there something that blue side needs to do or can do to kind of take down the pace in the game, or is it just red side playing it really well and blue side having to just deal with it?
Herald is definitely a very important objective at this point. If they take that, the game is going to be so fast for them. But now a dive on Naraya. Can he outplay this?
The taunt from Shen does come out. He is gonna juke. The W by Kane is gonna ult onto Camille and gets taken down. Maybe the last turret shot from... He actually looked like he walked back into it. Bandage shot from Amumu is not gonna land. Does have the Curse of the Sad Mummy available. No mana on him though. Kassadin's on his way. Has the Rift Walk. And of course with his AoE. Easy kill for Kassadin. And Kassadin with a kill. 2 even. Yeah, you don't really like to see that.
Good thing Red side has a lot of vision around the Herald, so not an easy transition in that objective. But good turnaround from the blue side. Narea taking the Galio with him, and then the follow-up from Mamumu and Kassadin puts them on the board, because from 0-4 to 3-5 is definitely a win in my view for that team at this point, because kill on Kassadin is so valuable. You never want to kill trade with that guy, because once he is getting fed, there will be no stopping him. So this is the first step to a win, and as you can see in the gold, there is a small lead for blue side even, but of course most of that is for top lane, which yeah, is about 500 gold ahead, so yeah, that's basically the whole.
Camille still not in the top lane, did a little lane swap there. Kassadin gonna try to get out of this one there. Amumu, he flashes in with a bandage toss. Predator from Galio once again coming down, and look at the burn onto Domi. Is it gonna be enough? Galio maybe being able to save his jungle, not gonna be enough. Not even picking up the kill. They're all super low and they just need one person to find the CC, to find the damage. Not gonna be enough. Leona and Misfortune are moving, but they are gonna be too late.
And I think right is that they're being a little doubtful about using his Stand United on Domi, because could probably have saved his life there. Eventually used it on Lionel, but it feels like a little bit of a wasted ult for me. And another kill for Kassadin, just what we said, you do not want it on that guy. Going for his mana items early, and yeah, with the tier that is cheaper now, can be bought early. Good for him, but of course he can't buy the Rod of Ages anymore. It's something that hits champions that
close
mana
home
very, very hard. So he will not be as obnoxiously tanky as he used to be, so that is a little bit of a positive point for the red side, that they can at least burst him when the time comes.
Yeah, it's a pretty big nerf onto Kassadin there, with the Rod of Ages not being able to. The Nom by Tahm Kench coming out there. Second dragon of the game, meanwhile being picked up by Kane. We are not going to see an Ocean or a Infernal, it's going to be a Mount Rift. Meanwhile, Domi once again, he's going to get exhausted, finds the double knockup. The Nom from Tahm Kench is not there anymore. Galio with the Grand Entrance, finding the damage and the knockup. Also Leona getting picked up here with Nerea's TP coming in there. Domi is not going to find the kill onto Tahm Kench, and it is indeed a back and forth fight here. Another double knockup from Domi. TP is going to come in here from Shen. They're going to have to watch out. The flash engage here by Lionel, but it's too far. His team cannot follow up on that. He went way too hard. Probably communication, and gives them a free kill.
Started so well for the red side with the engage, with the hero's entrance on the Kane, but then they've used everything to get in and they have nothing to get out, because the whole team on blue side has grouped up faster than they could. And they kind of clean it up. Eventually Shen TP's in, Galio goes in deep, can't follow, so it's again a little bit of misused resources there, which puts the score at 6-6, and yeah, the gold lead well over 1000 gold for blue side, which is not something you want to see. With a comp that has Kassadin and Camille, and those are also the members that have all the kills, so it's coming together for them. Time to make that press R comp to work. Get some picks with Leona CC. Get a bullet time in. Haven't seen Pancho Man really affecting these fights so far.
Pancho Man's bullet time and also Leona's solar flare both haven't been really used a lot. While the Herald gets spawned into mid lane, gonna put the pressure onto red side. It's gonna give them also a bit more time for Kassadin, of course, to be scaling as they take away the Herald, or took away the Herald at least a couple minutes ago from red side, giving them less pressure and relieving a lot of pressure for blue side here.
Yeah, you see this is a really big problem with the Divine Thunder on the Kami. Is just shrekking that Shen, and if he can stop her in the split, who will be able to stop her? That's the question. Does get a little trade in, so maybe once he gets that mythic, he's able to dish out the damage together with a potential Hydra in that build, because he will have to be able to go toe to toe against this Kami at some point.
At this point it does look like Righteous is holding his own, but then of course the second proc on Camille's Q does come in. He's gonna keep going for this fight, uses her ultimate, gonna do the extra damage on Shen, and look at that. However, Shen is gonna go hard, but a great flash there. Nurea finding the kill, finding the outplay onto Righteous, who also had his flash but was too late.
Some would call it limit testing, but I think Nurea knows his limits very well on that champion. Saw the cooldown on Shen, of course, didn't have the dodge field or the passive shield available, and that's when you can do some damage, because Shen is really holding his own in that break. Now, Domi here saying, you're not gonna get away with murder this time, buddy.
Picks it up there, Rift Walk from Kassadin right into the Galio knockup, but at this point he's doing fine, up in CS, up in kills, up in gold. Dywan1na is gonna have to go for it, sort of re-engage, tries to peel for the carry, is gonna get picked up first with the Sad Mummy, comes through. Shen using his Stand United there to try and save his support, but not only does it not go through, it's also of course off cooldown now as we go into a small pause as something technical difficulties maybe.
Yeah, I guess so. In the 1 second ready, what's a scouting grounds or an open tour without some juicy pauses? Gives us time to take a sip of our drink and analyze the current situation that they're in, because it's not looking so good for the red side at the moment. They really have to use the strength of their team comp, which is the champion advantage that they have when using the Stand United and the Hero's Entrance, and the CC in the team fight. And at the moment they're getting picked off left, right and center. Teleports and ultimates are used too late. However, we saw of course the great escape from Lionel, but that was about the best ultimate that I've seen from him this game, so not really what you want to use it for.
Still not 100% sure on the Predator Galio here. We saw it once and it actually worked there to pick up a kill, after which he then flew away with his Grand Yeet ultimate. But aside from that, not a lot of very big plays from him.
And they have the potential, because they have Kane, who can go through the wall, Shen ult on him, killing everyone, you know, classic solo queue madness that you see all the time. But not able to pull through his fantastic early plays, because remember, they were 4 kills against 0 at the early game, and now they're killing behind them. Keep going for it, bot and top.
And this time Misfortune does get found, finds the bullet time, only hits Melex, who is not gonna go down. It's Misfortune herself going down, and now maybe Domi picking up the kill, does not find it, needs to use his slash here to pick up the kill onto Tahm Kench. Not gonna find a second when Nurea picks up Righteous in the meantime off screen, and there's Gaiul finding a couple of kills. Domi gets taken down, Galio gets taken down, and at this point it's not looking great for red side. Not only do they have the less scaling team, they're also just losing fights at 16 minutes into the game.
And this is horrible. If you lose a 4v5 as a team fight comp against the late scaling comp at 50 minutes, then yeah, this game is almost over, you could almost say. You see the Kassadin going in, just killing Panchomon after he has ulted, going back out, going back in, picking up the kill left, right and center. 5, 2 and 3 at the moment on this champion, which is yeah, not something you would want to see on the Kassadin. Here, Misfortune, Panchomon against Trusty Sniper doing some damage, but
that's not good.
uh-oh.
Panchoman gonna use his flash there to get out of the curtains call by Rusty Sniper, but had no idea that both Kassadin and Amumu are lurking around the corner to pick up a couple kills. Amumu gonna go for a re-engage here. Does not have, sorry, he does have Curse with the Sad Mummy, but is not gonna be able to use it. Leona this time with the re-engage of their own. Bowman going really low here, gets leaked by Tahm Kench and gets peeked up by Kassadin here. it's going worse and worse for red side at this point. And another engage here. Great knock up there by Domi, but yikes!
The damage!
It might be a 1v9 Camille this game, it might be a 1v9 Cassidy in this game, or it can just be a 2v8 Camille Cassidy.
It all turned around with the 3-man dive on the top lane where they gave a few kills away to the Kassadin, to the Camille, and now they're just very mean and destroying everyone they see. So that's a problem that you need to solve, and not later, but very well now, because you have an MF that is going for the lethality build as well. You have the Eclipse, so they only have one shot of really doing damage and not really the continuous damage that you would like. Because don't forget, Galio isn't, it's not an Orianna or a Syndra who's just gonna blow someone up 100 to 0 at this point. He is the engage, the follow-up with the Hero's Entrance, and yeah, once he's done his stuff, it's over there. There's not really much to say, and Kassadin, he will just keep going if you do not see him from 100 to 0, so that's where they're gonna have to look at. And Domi, he's the man to keep the game alive at this point. He's 5-5-2, still pretty strong, and he has the support from a Shen and a Galio, so put some resources in that guy and get the game back under control.
Yeah, basically all eggs in one basket on red side. He's gonna have to do it close to on his own with the against the likes, sorry, of a pretty fed Camille and a pretty fed Kassadin, who is only level 12, so that's not gonna get any better while the game progresses any further. So before, a couple minutes ago, we did ask while Kane is gonna go hard into a move, he finds the curse of the Sandbug, and look at the damage onto Pancho Man, but he's gonna get stand united onto Tahm Kench now, having drawn the short stick, getting picked up very close, is not gonna go down eventually. It's Misfortune and Shen, thanks to the great re-engage on blue side. It's a triple kill for Kassadin at this point, level 13, and once again, this is not gonna go better for red side when the game progresses even further here. Gonna lose a lot of pressure. Another turret. Dragon's gonna be up in a minute and 40 seconds, which most likely they'll lose as well. Not looking good for them.
Yeah, if you're losing a team fight at 20 minutes now, then you're gonna probably lose it in 5 or 10 or even later minutes if the game is that long at this point. Because if a Kassadin is level 13, 3 more levels, he's gonna hit the bingo moment and he's gonna see like, oh, don't have any cooldown on my Riftwalk anymore. Now I can kill you, and you'll get a Riftwalk as well. So that's gonna be a really big problem for them, which already is a problem. So yeah, watch out for that. Get a pick at this point is your best chance at coming back in the game, because you can't team fight, you can't 1v1. You really need to find that juicy 5v1, how we got him in a corner moment to get back into this game.
The classic how we got him in a corner moment, of course. Still eggs in basically one basket here, while they are going to be looking for Nere, who's not going to be able to use the second part of his hookshot to get over the wall. But they don't decide to continue the chase there without the vision.
And you see, they find Camille in their jungle, top laner and jungler 2v1. Gonna hold it here, because yeah, red side in top again.
Bowman once again is able to juke. I'm lost for words at the moment. Juked one skill, flashed nothing, and then ulted himself. Probably expecting a Riftwalk there from Cassidy on top of him. Would not have saved his life, I think. But a strange play.
Yeah, that's a problem with the predict. When they don't do it, it looks stupid. Which is of course not a bad play, but yeah, it just looks a little funny when they then do not flash or Riftwalk at that point. So yeah, too bad that Gil expected Solar Flare coming in, doesn't go forward, baits the Solar Flare and gets the easy pickup without even too much damage, because of course you have Melix on the top Kench just nom-nomming you to safety. And what I was saying before, they see the Camille in the 2v1 and they just don't want to go in, because at that point she was level 14 against 2 level 11 champions, so that is a huge stat gap that especially against that champion you do not want to start at. And Tommy knows that once you've been licked, you really need to get out, because mean Kassadin over there.
Kassadin, of course, being picked here in a 1-3-1 comp eventually, but at this point he's 10-2-4. He's close to hitting level 16, needs 2 more levels to go, while in the bottom lane, Lionel tries to go hard for Camille. Probably not gonna find it. Sums up.
Predator
Comes in. Maybe Predator's gonna come down. Probably not, but look at the chase. Galio is there, Shen is there, Misfortune is there, Leona. Basically the entire red squad is in bottom lane to stop the Camille. It has turned effectively into a 4-1 comp. While they're all there, Baron has started. TP does come in. Caillou finding Dummy basically instantly gets picked up. Baron does go down. It is Fightser picking it up for blue team, and now the fight is gonna erupt. Everybody is gonna start pressing R at the same time here. Gallo trying to do the damage, not gonna be enough. Gets picked up by Nerea, who also TB'd into that fight, and the damage was just too much. It's a clean ace by blue side. Kassadin picking up, I think it's another 2 or 3 kills. I think someone picked up a triple kill there. I didn't exactly get the info there. 27-8 for blue side. It's a very one-sided game. Bottom lane on red side tried to do something early game, did not work. After that it just went south for the whole team.
They're gonna take the inhib, reset the map and go at it again. It is also a mountain rift, we haven't talked about it. Not really mattering much, because of course you do not have many things, only for the red side, but I don't think they'll be taking a mountain streak anytime soon. And Kane, who was super strong, is taking ages to hurt his Amumu at this point, but he's gonna fall. I don't think Malik gets
Sunfire ages?
Sunfire can't kill me unless you take ages.
It's taking a long time for Kane to pick up these kills, and at this point he's still the only one who's actually able to do something in these fights. Previous fight at Baron, he got picked up very early by the likes of Kassadin, and giving the blue side a fairly easy Baron pickup. Smite versus no smite, always Gucci.
And the moment that you see the game being blown up in the tri-bush next to Baron, when you compare that to how strong he was at the start of the game, and we say he's the guy that needs to carry it, then you know that yeah, there is basically no way that they're gonna come back.
Leona caught out of position, Camille picking up another kill for herself, and he's gonna go very hard onto Dummy here. He does not have his ultimate, not gonna be able to juke all that much, but another hookshot comes through. Look at the damage on Misfortune! She gets annihilated, completely bursted into the floor, and it's gonna be the game-ending play here. Amumu was not part of that. He does not get a piece of this cake, while they are gonna go very hard. Nerea flying through the stopwatching Galio, spamming a couple of his emotes, and the Nexus of red side is gonna go down. Very one-sided game, 31-9 in this game. Blue side picking up the first win of this Scouting Grounds. Well done, and GG well played to Team Vounghuard. Vanguard.
Well played. That is that's really clean what they did there in in this game. The start very much in favor for red side, but yeah, the dive in the top lane definitely shifted it around. Give Camille and Kassadin 1 kill, and they take your whole team. That's basically where it goes from there. Played it according to the book and finished really fast. Didn't even need the heavy late game what they were banking on, because they just snowballed out of control at some point, and yeah, then it's not really hard to kill anyone with the champions that they picked. So yeah, well played by the blue side here, and of course congrats to Vounghuard for first win of the Scouting Grounds.
Yeet, first win of the day is in. What does that give you? Like 150 blue essence these days? basically making bank in the Rito client. Damage graphs picking them just looking at them, sorry, right here, real quick, we have a very high damage Kassadin, followed up by slightly less very high damage by Camille. And on
But
the red
still
side,
high.
it was, but still very high. And then we did have Kane on red side, but he was way, way, way behind in damage and could not carry his team enough. And of course, this does mean that Team Vanguard does continue to the winners bracket, playing later on today versus the winner of the second game. And Team dywan1na is going to go to the losers bracket. They're going to play later on today versus the loser of the next game, which is Team Beora and Team Series, who will be starting momentarily as the lobby is being formed.
Yeah, so we're gonna be right back for that game, so don't go far, just pick up a drink and yeah, we'll be right there with game 2 of Scouting Grounds.
Peace!